You open your eyes for the first time and… Wait, there is no first time. You don't remember opening your eyes because you don't remember not existing. Congratulations, you are the universe's oldest unsolved mystery. There are no rivers yet, no trees, no mountains. The Valor, those cosmic architects who will one day shape continents and hang stars like Christmas lights, haven't even started their shift. And you're already here, standing in the void, humming. No one made you. Let that satisfying little horror sink in. Eru Iluvatar, the literal god of this universe, the one who sang reality into existence. He never claims you. Not as a creation, not as a mistake, not as anything. You simply are. Like background radiation with a personality, the elves will eventually call you Yarwain Benadar, oldest and fatherless. Sounds almost poetic until you realize it's a polite way of saying, we have absolutely no idea what you are, and honestly, it makes us uncomfortable. The dwarves call you Forn. The men of the north call you Orald. You call yourself Tom. Just Tom. As if naming yourself something cheerful would fill that magnificent void where a purpose should be. The first raindrop falls. You watch it. The first acorn cracks open. You watch that too. Continents shift, stars rearrange, species bloom into existence with divine intention and cosmic meaning. You start singing. Not a song of power like the Ainur sang before creation. Not a hymn of worship. Just a song. About nothing. To no one. A melody that bounces off emptiness and returns unchanged. You are the oldest being in all of Arda, and your contribution to existence is an endless, aimless jingle. Lucky you. The elves awaken by a lake under starlight. The most beautiful moment in the history of Middle-earth. You were there before them. Did you greet them? Guide them? Offer some ancient wisdom from your incomprehensible existence? No. You were picking flowers somewhere. Probably singing about boots. The Dark Lord Morgoth rises. Evil takes shape for the first time. Wars that will define every age to come begin brewing on the horizon. You don't notice, or worse, you notice and simply don't care. You are eternal. You are powerful beyond comprehension. And you have chosen, with the full weight of infinite existence, to do absolutely nothing with any of it. But hey, at least the song is catchy. At some point, and some point could mean 10,000 years, you genuinely can't tell. You settle down. The old forest. A patch of ancient, furious woodland, where the trees remember being young and resent everything that grew legs. Perfect neighborhood for someone with zero social ambition. You build a house. You marry Goldberry, the river daughter. She's beautiful. Running water is beautiful. Literally, because she might actually be running water in the shape of a woman. Nobody's sure. You don't explain. Explaining things is not really your brand. And now you're master. The trees obey you. The rivers listen. The hills bend to your mood. Goldberry herself says it. He is the master of wood, water, and hill. Sounds majestic. Sounds important. Sounds like it should come with responsibilities. It doesn't. Old Man Willow, a tree so angry it swallows hobbits whole, attacks 4 little halflings stumbling through your forest. Does the master intervene with ancient power? Summon the fury of creation itself? No. You sing a nursery rhyme at a tree, and it works. The bark cracks open. The hobbits tumble out like loose change from a couch. Problem solved. Effort invested. Less than it takes to butter toast. The Barrow-wights, undead horrors haunting ancient tombs, servants of the Witch King of Angmar. Trap those same hobbits days later. Cold fog. Paralysis. A sacrificial blade inches from Frodo's neck. You show up singing about lilies. And it works again. The wights dissolve. The fog lifts. Ancient evil that terrorized the North for centuries vanishes because you hummed at it with the enthusiasm of someone doing laundry. This is your existence. You possess power that Gandalf would study for millennia. Power that Galadriel would wield with trembling reverence. Power that Saruman would burn kingdoms to steal. You use it to keep your garden pleasant. Goldberry sets the table. You bring her flowers. The stars come out. You sing another formless song to another indifferent sky. Somewhere beyond your invisible borders, civilizations are collapsing. Entire races face extinction. Evil consolidates. You pick a water lily and tuck it behind your wife's ear. Power without purpose. A throne with no kingdom. A master of everything and custodian of nothing. Brilliant strategy, really. 4 hobbits sit at your table. One of them carries the most dangerous object ever forged, a golden circle of pure, concentrated evil. The masterwork of a dark god. A weapon designed to enslave every living will in Middle-earth. You ask to see it like someone asking to borrow a pen. Show me the precious ring, you say. And Frodo, the hobbit who trusts no one, who hasn't even told his closest friends the full truth, hands it over. Immediately. Without hesitation. As if your voice dismantled every wall he'd built around that secret. That alone should terrify someone. It doesn't terrify you. You hold the one ring between your thick brown fingers. It looks small. Almost silly. This thing that turned Isildur into a corpse. That stretched Gollum's life into 5 centuries of cave-dwelling madness. That Gandalf, a literal angelic being, refuses to touch because he knows it would devour him from the inside out. You put it on your pinky finger. Nothing happens. No invisibility, no shadow world, no whisper of Sauron crawling into your thoughts. The hobbits stare, waiting for the horror. You just sit there, wiggling your fingers, visible as sunshine. Then you laugh. A big, round, stupid laugh. The kind of laugh that belongs at a birthday party, not 3 feet from an instrument of apocalypse. Because apparently the moment needed more absurdity, you toss the ring into the air. It vanishes in a flash. Frodo screams. You lean forward, produce it from nowhere, hand it back with a grin. A magic trick. You turn the doom of civilization into a parlor game for your own amusement. Frodo doesn't trust this. Smart hobbit. He slips the ring on his own finger while you're rambling about badgers. He goes invisible, as expected. The ring works perfectly fine on everyone else. It just doesn't work on you. Hey, come here, Frodo, you shout, staring directly at the spot where an invisible hobbit stands frozen in disbelief. You see him. The ring can't even hide someone from you. Here's the tragedy stitched inside the comedy. You are living proof that Sauron's ultimate weapon has a flaw. That absolute power can meet absolute indifference and simply break. You are the answer. But an answer that doesn't care about the question is just silence wearing a blue hat. Rivendell, the last serious room in Middle-earth. Elves, dwarves, men, a wizard, and 4 hobbits who probably shouldn't be there sit in a circle debating the fate of everything. The one ring lies on a stone pedestal, like a grenade at a dinner party. Everyone is afraid. Everyone has an opinion. And then someone says your name. Could not Bombadil take the ring and keep it forever harmless? The room pauses. For one glittering second, hope has a shape. A strange, boot-wearing, song-singing shape, but hope nonetheless. The oldest being alive. Immune to the ring. A vault no darkness could crack. Gandalf kills it in 3 sentences. He wouldn't understand the need. He'd forget the ring entirely. Or worse, he'd throw it away. Like a child discarding a wrapper. Not out of malice, not out of carelessness even. Out of pure, absolute cosmic indifference to everything you and everyone in that room consider worth dying for. Let that marinate. The free peoples of Middle-earth are weighing every option. Hiding the ring. Sending it across the sea. Dropping it into the deepest ocean. Destroying it in the one volcano where it was made. Every path involves sacrifice. Every choice demands courage. And giving it to you? That's not even a gamble. It's a joke. A punchline dressed as a suggestion. Glorfindel confirms it. Even if you took the ring willingly, Sauron's forces would eventually overwhelm your little forest. You couldn't stop an army. Not because you lack strength, but because you'd probably try to sing at it. And when the last tree burned and the last river boiled, the ring would simply be lying in the ashes of your cottage, unguarded, because you wandered off to look at a beetle. Nobody sends a messenger. Nobody writes a letter. Nobody even considers telling you the meeting happened. You are excluded from the most important decision in the history of Middle-earth, with the casual efficiency of removing a joke from a eulogy. Somewhere in the old forest, at this exact moment, you are singing to a fox. The council chooses a hobbit. A small, frightened, completely mortal hobbit. Because even fragile courage is more useful than infinite apathy wrapped in yellow boots. They trust the ring to someone it can destroy. They don't trust it to the one person it can't. Sauron falls. The ring melts. Mount Doom swallows the single most important object ever created, and the sky over Mordor cracks open like a rotten egg. Armies cheer. Kings kneel. An entire age ends in fire and triumph. You miss it. Not because you couldn't see it. Not because distance kept you ignorant. You miss it because a particularly interesting mushroom caught your attention that morning. Aragorn takes the throne. The kingdom of men begins its golden age. Frodo sails to the undying lands, broken by a burden you once juggled for laughs. Sam plants a tree. Merry and Pippin, the two hobbits you pulled from a furious willow like splinters from a thumb, become legends in the Shire. Nobody visits you. Not because they forgot the way. They remember the old forest. They remember your songs, your table, your ridiculous hat. They remember Goldberry's voice and the warmth of your fire. But what would they say? Thank you for doing nothing. Thank you for being the most powerful locked door in a burning building. Years dissolve. Decades blur. The hobbits who sat at your table grow old in a world you helped preserve by accident. Sam dies. Merry dies. Pippin dies. Their grandchildren hear stories about a strange singing man in the woods and assume it's a fairy tale. You keep singing. The fourth age crawls forward. Then the fifth. Then ages without names. Forests shrink. Rivers change course. The old forest itself thins. Tree by memory. Goldberry remains, or something like her remains. Even she feels less like a person now and more like an echo. A reflection in water that never quite holds still. You've watched gods shape the earth. You've seen darkness rise and fall like breathing. You've held damnation in your palm and laughed at it. Every civilization that ever feared extinction would have killed for what you are. And what you are is a song nobody hears anymore. No book in the Shire mentions your name. No statue in Gondor bears your likeness. No legend among elves explains your origin. You are the footnote the universe wrote before Chapter 1, and never referenced again. Immortal. Immune. Irrelevant. You open your mouth. The melody is the same one you sang before the first raindrop fell. Before trees existed to hear it. Before anyone was alive to wonder why. You sing. You've always been singing. And no one is listening.